She's the CJ nominee, and there's a bit of a tussle between these two. That's the CJ nominee, that's Martha Koome, and this is Nelson Havi, the LSK president. Now, Nelson Havi sent a memorandum to the JSC claiming that Koome has in 3 different cases ruled based on nepotism and favouritism. Now she's fighting back, and she wants an apology from him. He says no. So the tussle between the nominee for Chief Justice Martha Koome and Law Society of Kenya President Nelson Havi intensified today after Havi dared Koome to do her worst, as he vowed not to apologise or retract the memoranda he presented to the Judicial Service Commission during the recent interviews. In his memoranda, Havi had questioned Koome's handling of 3 cases, saying she was influenced by nepotism, favouritism and improper motive, and that she often ruled in favour of the executive. In his letter to Koome's lawyers, Havi alleged a plot to intimidate him against questioning Koome's suitability ahead of a second round of vetting by the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, which has already urged the public to submit information on her suitability. Havi's response to Koome's lawyers came as the JSC vetting panel commenced interviews for candidates seeking the position of Supreme Court judge, as Chemutai Goin reports.
The bitter exchange between Lady Justice Martha Koome and Law Society of Kenya President Nelson Havi appears headed for the courts after Havi dismissed Koome's demand letter requiring him to revoke the memoranda he presented to the JSC. Havi had written to the JSC accusing Koome of being an unfair arbiter and biased in favour of the executive. Koome had given Havi 7 days to apologise or she would initiate a lawsuit for libel and defamation. Nelson Havi, in a response today, dismissed Koome's ultimatum, saying he will not withdraw the memorandum, neither would he apologise or admit liability. Havi maintains that the contents of the memoranda were true. The Havi memoranda to the JSC had questioned Koome's handling of 3 cases, one between the NCPB and Erad Supplies in 2012, a night sitting of the Court of Appeal on the eve of the repeat presidential election in 2017, and an appeal by the LSK on the election of its male representative to the LSK. Some of these matters were brought up during her vetting by the JSC panel. In his response to Koome's demand letter, Havi further alleged that the demand letter was meant to intimidate him and bar him from submitting additional memoranda to the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, which last Friday put out a notice inviting the public to submit information on Koome's suitability ahead of her vetting due 13th May. And as the spat intensified, the Judicial Service Commission continued the search for a suitable candidate to fill the vacancy left vacant by Justice Jackton Ojwang on the Supreme Court bench. JSC interviewed High Court Judge Said Chitembwe and his Employment and Labour Relations counterpart Marete Njagi, both of whom had unsuccessfully bid for the Chief Justice post.
Which area do you think you can come out strongly as a leader?
Last time we were here, I told you that I'm a very organized person. I am a very timeous person. I get things done and on the dot.
Sometimes we look beyond that very sharp judge who is able to make very good decisions, but we say, agoje kidogo labda tutaangalia maneno yake baadaye. I don't know what you would say about that.
You can't say ngoja kidogo because you are 54. We will look at you when you reach 60. I have a classmate in the Supreme Court, and he has been there for 5 years.
The 2 candidates agreed with the Supreme Court strategic plan that the number of judges be increased by 2 to facilitate the completion of the pending backlog, often occasioned by the lack of quorum.
The situation we have now is impractical, if not impossible. It's a do-or-die situation, and maybe in the future we can even move up to 11.
The question of fighting corruption in the judiciary and particularly the Supreme Court also came up.
Unless now we are efficient to the extent that a case is filed today and in 2-3 months it has been dispensed with, that will now reduce that. It won't even eliminate to 0.
Chitembwe also presented his views on the age of the judges of the Supreme Court.
If a judge is appointed to the Supreme Court, a maximum of 15 years should be sufficient so that we can clear you. I know other jurisdiction you are judged for life in the Supreme Court, but think we should be alive to the fact that if I'm there and I have a specific stand on something for 20 years, for 30 years, I'm there as a judge of the Supreme Court. I think we need to look into this aspect of being there for 25 years. A High Court judge, it's understandable.
One of the contestants, Justice Kathrima Ntonoti, pulled out of the interview, citing the fact that he and CJ nominee Koome came from the same ethnic background. Candidate Marete, who hails from the same region, was questioned on the same matter.
All the good brains in this place should come out and chat it out and tell Kenya and Africa that we are getting lost on nothingness. The issue is not ethnicity. Tackle the actual issue and deal with your matters so that you...
Despite the legal issues that have arisen over the conduct of the Judicial Service Commission in the search for the next Chief Justice, the process of searching for who will take the place for Jackton Ojwang continued without a hitch, with Tuesday set to see Justice Ndumanderi and Dr. Patrick Lumumba plead their case before the vetting panel. Chamutai Goin, Citizen TV at the Supreme Court building, Nairobi.